on the agenda. Semi-final spot on the line, as mentioned. The victor will go and play Donuts USG, or Unsold Stuff Gaming, for those of you more curious. Now, the Buckman. That's a bit of an intriguing one, DevMana.
Yeah, not a very common ban, not a very common pick. I mean, Fav had a couple of rounds where Shin played it on Villa, but other than that, haven't played it much this series. Nomad Ban 2 leaves Olfatcher in, which is really going to change wall denial. I mean, there is really no capacity for wall denial. Sometimes you might see a bandit juggle, but realistically, it just doesn't happen in the current meta these days. Even when Thatcher is in, when Thatcher is out, doesn't really come into it. So that's really going to change the structure of these attacks, and you know, potentially the okay Fav.
Wow. Wow.
Jaeger ban. That is we've seen my bans from Fav in the past, but we have not seen the Jaeger ban before. That is going to throw a spanner in the works.
Consider the spanner thrown. The works now follow in chaos. Jaeger and a Buck ban, hey?
Look, this should really be an attacker-sided map. Like, this should be super attacker-sided now. There's no Jaeger. Like, let's say you're trying to hold on to Piano on your master defense. You've probably got a shield on top of the Piano. You're going to need to, like, use all your Wamai magnets to try and protect that shield. And even then, it's pretty easy to burn through with the number of flashbangs you can see brought by Fav Gaming at the moment. That's like 3 on the line, 3 on the Hibana, plus 2 concussions on Type 1. Like, there is just no way that you are holding on to any power position without getting naded out by the 4 nades that Fav are going to bring here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Now, let's see for Fav where they bounce back, how they bounce back. Adversity follows Fav at the moment, and it's kind of, not totally convinced. I think the performance yesterday was really what had me a bit rattled. The 7-0 that they started out with being taken down on Bank, and then the 2 8-6s that followed, the 2 overtime games, really had us kind of scratching our head and looking around, trying to figure out what was going on. And well, I guess this kind of just compounds concerns for us, doesn't it? It's a very strange new place for us to be looking at. And unfortunately, it really is just kind of echoing the statement that Fav are not on the game. They are not on point to where we expected them to be. Gogun, however, they're making their own kind of storyline known. Good opportunity here on Chalet to really secure a really deep bracket run when you consider where they've come from.
Absolutely. From the open qualifier, the only team still standing in the Japan Championship who came from the open quals, but Fav have shown to be a strong team. 7-1 on Villa was really assurance of that. Gogun fought back with a 7-2 on Cafe. These teams taking each other's map picks, but now on Chalet, it must be decided. We will find out who's going to play USG in the semis. Honestly, Rob, like, whoever wins this, I would probably back them in to face USG. Like, I would back them in that match. We may well be casting one of our grand finalists right now.
Jeez. I mean, it's so true. It is so true. Crazy to think that, but the way that we've seen both of these teams kind of perform, it wouldn't really, there'd be no questions left to beg. No doubt about it. Taipon has been a bit of a beast for Fav over the past 2 days. Needs to step up once more here as they start to slowly and surely deal with No Guns extension.
Here's where the Jaeger ban comes into play. So much utility for Fav to burn the relatively small amount that Gogun have on the other side. Not a lot of catches. Here comes the flashes. Surely that's going to be completely obliterating that shield. But Lambor still contests the position and takes down Lugator. That is a huge boon for them. More nades, more flashes need to come through to flush him out. He finds another! The nade isn't enough to put him in the dirt. The E1D to lock him in place. And Fav Gaming,
Attackers have located a bomb.
that was not good enough.
That throw next up on the chopping block. Kerry finds another trade here as Fav are left wondering what has happened to this round. The Jaeger Band, we said it was going to have a huge impact, and right now, it's like it never touched the server. Kerry with a 3K to close out the first round of Chalet.
Absolutely massive stuff from Gogun. Fav Gaming played into the Jaeger Band well, but their micro was just not good enough. You look at things like, you know, the flashes came through, the nade came through, but just destroying the shield does not win you that position, does not win you that round. You're still vulnerable to getting shot at. And you're vulnerable still to these cheeky, elusive roamers and to Gogun just swinging, just holding their positions. You need, if you want to really lock down those positions, you need the flashbangs to come through after that shield's gone as well. Really lock those positions in place, you know, call out the Lion E1D, and then go and push in,
Defenders,
take down
protect your
these
bombs
players.
from
But
being
Gogun
used by
dictated
attackers.
that pace. A two-piece from Lambo and a
Attackers have located the
three-piece
bomb.
from Kerry. Nuts.
Wall reinforced.
All right. We see you. We hear you. Now, can you continue this trend? Can you continue to show us the ability you have thus far? It's a nice bulletproof cam that's going to be able to spot all the way out to dining, which we do know that double reinforced wall between lobby or fireplace all the way into dining is generally such a hot and heavily contested area for the attacking side. Again, talked about this before, but the vertical play on this site can be so detrimental. If you do not take control of it as an attacker, it really can come back to haunt you. We saw it yesterday for Fav, and I know that they will want to make sure that they start this off in the right fashion.
Fav need to make sure not to leave any stone unturned. Got to cross all their T's, dot all their I's as they drone out. They can't take for granted that Gogun are going to sit back and take it. Gogun are going to fight. Gogun are going to peek. Gogun are going to get in their faces.
That just rolled off all too easy, didn't it? Gogun Gunner.
Yeah, Gogun Gunner didn't even intend that, but hey, Gogun gonna kill. Afro goes down. That is the Lion, the flashes, the E1Ds gone.
Gogun are truly gunners, Dev. No doubt about it. Nowhere. This is a very, very cheeky position he finds himself in. Peeking out onto the balcony. Right through a pre-prepped hole. Has been spotted though. Gogun holding firmly. Nowhere might get a little bit aggressive here. There's a player on Mez. There's a player right in front of him.
He wants
He's
it.
Wrong way at the wrong time, but it doesn't make a difference. He swings and backs away. That's fine. Again, warning shots fired, and now Fav have to be careful where Nowhere is allowed to go and re-peek. Find himself a double kill. What? Nowhere is unstoppable.
This is just unreal. Absolutely unspeakable. The flawless round for Gogun. They are making a statement. They're having a laugh, and Fav Gaming cannot believe their eyes.
Kerry, second from the right there, with a big smile on his face. They are really enjoying themselves and thriving under the LAN pressures, the LAN environment. Again, we said, play without reservation, play without hesitation. And right now, they truly are a team to be reckoned with and a force that is unstoppable. Gogun are really making a name for themselves here against Fav. Fav have to bounce back, Dev. They cannot allow this to remain unanswered.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
That's
bombs
it.
as
Like
they can.
Fav Gaming, such an experienced team, such a prestigious roster. Third place in the Japan League this year. APAC North for over a year now, year and a half they've been playing APAC North. Pro League finals, these guys have been to LANs time upon time. But when Gogun just get up in their faces, when they decide to get aggressive and don't leave Fav any room to breathe. It's actually Fav who struggle. They just can't contain it. They can't retain their composure. They certainly need to now. Last round really just hinged off nowhere. Sprinting through or crouching through this breach that Fav had made and finding 3 kills. That should never, ever happen. Fav have only themselves to blame. They're the ones with all the expectation, and as a result, they are crumbling under that pressure.
Hoping now that they can start to tidy it up, Dev. Pressure aside, if they don't manage to kind of tidy things up, really it is it's dire straits, there's no doubt about it. Shin, time and time again, has been the entry for Fav, has been the opening for Fav that they have prayed for, that they've required, and each and every time they've been called upon. Nowhere gets the call again. No doubt, he's not afraid to take any fight.
There's a nade. Flash. Nowhere's just going to push on the back of it. Oh my god, surely the repeat. Number 2 can punish, but that's got to be a tilter for Afro.
And Afro has been a gunner for Fav as well. Just talking about Shin, Afro's been unbelievable. Look at this from Lambo. Where are you going? What are you about to do? Have Fav done their job? Have they really crossed their T's and dotted their I's, Dev? Because if they haven't, Lambo's about to rip them open.
Oh, they did. They perfectly did. The flank watch was there, no doubt. That was a call from Afro on a drone. Great work from Fav Gaming to shut down that X-Factor Roma. That's also a C4 dead.
Located a bomb.
Io-Chan still with a shield in pocket. What is the go here? It's not the first time we've seen that. Very aggressive run out. Now falling back. He can just chuck his shield down right where he's standing. It would be fantastic. But looks like Fav have just fallen all over. Gogun shut down with ease.
That almost felt like Gogun, after a while, just kind of gave up, threw their hands in the air and said, whatever we can find, we find. And look, credit to them. Credit to Fav. They managed to make that work, but it didn't start out in the greatest fashion. Again, just the aggression that we're seeing time and time again from Gogun is catching Fav out. They were able to tidy it up. I mean, if that flank had really paid off for E-Raber, I mean, what do you even do at that point? You know what I mean? Like, it's just falls apart around you, but it is great to see, even amongst the, I'm sure there's nerves right now, I'm sure there's pressure, they can still manage to stay calm and composed and find themselves the information that they need and still play off it without any hesitation.
Well, Gogun, I mean, they have that confidence still, but Fav, they're starting to read into a little bit better. They're just playing much more patiently. And even when Gogun are finding these opportunities, for example, you know, nowhere on the mezzanine, aggressively peeking Afro after throwing those flashes, that Fav just had another player there ready to trade. And the other player from Gogun, Lambo, looking for a big flank up the stairs. Fav Gaming just made sure they always had someone dedicated to flank watch.
5 seconds left.
But of course, if Kerry can shoot 2 drones here, he's about to see the other one. Oh, there it is. Hidden in the shrubbery. He does get both. See, that's actually quite a significant information hit to Fav. And the more drones that Gogun take out, the more aggressive they're going to be able to play, because Fav will have less information.
Oh, what is this position from Io-Chan? Oh, see you later, Fav Gaming! Io-Chan rips them to shreds in one of the cheekiest positions you could ever imagine.
That is ridiculous that he was allowed to get 1, let alone 2. Just utter confusion from Fav Gaming after that. This Jaegerman may well net a kill, but Kerry manages to dodge it. Takes about 60, 70 damage for that, but still left alive. Number 2, hoping to try and find a pick here, hoping to maybe jump in. Fav Gaming are fighting from a 3v5.
Activating override. Checking them out! Deploying jammer!
Send them force their ways back. Kerry, got to be careful of this push from Taipon. Does a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. How quick are the trades from Fav Gaming? Unbelievable. Again, when things start to fall apart, when things start to crumble, they've stood tall. Io-Chan has dropped into the basement, or had done for a short second before rethinking his footsteps. Fav Gaming are actually well and truly still in this. They're really comfortable at the moment.
They are, but the one problem here is that Afro and Taipon are the only ones who actually have drones that can move. You know, there's still 3 more drones already in the field for the teammates that those teammates can spectate, but only 2 drones that are actually live and can scan out for information. And considering that Gogan are still all over the place, that's going to be really hard. See, if number 2 had the info here, this would be a free kill. There's no drone to watch for this position. Oh, is Lambo hear it?
Oh my goodness, Lambo needs to stay alive here. If he can find a kill, even better, he aggresses, and number 2 can't find the kill through the debris. Io-Chan has spotted out one more member and backs away. Afro and Taipon now shoulder to shoulder coming from Fireplace.
Afro's about to walk straight into Lambo's line of sight. Taipon now caught in a crossfire. And Io-Chan opens the round with a double, closes it with the final pick, and Gogan have found 3 rounds on their defense.
Fav Gaming, I mean, yeah. No cause or cause? I didn't quite get that.
Definite cause, I reckon, for concern.
Yeah. Guess the only saving grace in that discussion and the concern that we may hold is that Chalet did end 3 apiece for both Fav and Orthrus yesterday. Now, of course, 2 completely different games, 2 completely different play styles, but if Fav can tidy things up here in the last 2 rounds, won't be all do and die, but I would 100% agree with you here, Dev. Gogan seems to be under all of the control that they could ever need.
I think that having 3 rounds in the pocket already is good. I think that if you're going to end this half with only 3, that'll be still okay. There's still a solid chance for them to win this. Fav Gaming, though, I mean, they really need, 3 rounds here on their attack. They're the ones who banned the Jaeger. They're the ones who are expecting a really strong attack half thanks to it. And, realistically, that Jaeger ban has been relatively unimpactful. We've seen Gogan run the Wamai every round, which in itself isn't enough to, hard counter all this utility, but it's the way that Gogan are playing that's countering the way that Fav want to play. Like, Fav just want to, force Gogan to play positions and then just hard utility counter. And that's why you would ban the Jaeger. But Gogan are actually just going to play really loose and not sit in single positions, so they can't really just get spammed by that utility that Fav is hoping to use.
Shin, a little bit of information at the moment. They're just going to be able to spot there's no one toward the staircase, which means that Shin, if he pleases to, get quite aggressive here. He's going to. Oh, the timing from Io-Chan was nearly devastating. They have taken Solarium control. Io-Chan might know it. I think they're backing away because of it.
And Shin marches on forward with that rifle shield mounted. Io-Chan surely has snuck around here and takes down Taipon. Surely Shin is nearby enough for the trade, but he's actually allowed to escape. Afro does eventually get that trade, but can't get the second one. Lambo's actually rotating back up.
Changing mags.
Waiting for the time.
Oh
no, not like that. He does manage to find the kill in the end, and that is well and truly the X-Kairos out of fashion. Lugator. Sorry, not Lugator. Lambo is taken down by Shin, who's come from behind. It was Lugator who was taken well and truly too early in the round, I'm sure, for Fav's liking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the hatch didn't end up getting blown. I think he put the X-Karis on it, but wasn't able to detonate it. So that really just adds an extra safety net to Gogan. You look at like the utility lineup for Fav here, no real vertical potential. While there are some holes, it's going to be really hard here for Fav to put pressure on these site players. No hard breach aside from the Maverick, and I mean, he's running out of time to get a serious breach on that main dining wall. This is just going to be funneling into the meat grinder, into the mirror window, and surely it won't work.
It definitely doesn't, Dev. And the C4, just to add a bit of salt to the wounds. That nade might be really nice, though. Does it find a net and kill? No, it just damages Kerry. Actually pushes him into the open of Shin, who misses the shots uncharacteristically like. Number 2 now, trying to find the shots through the murder hole that is the foothold, and now it's all onto his shoulders. 10 seconds.
Yeah, and he's got the shield to contend with. He's got a player right up close in his face. That's 4 rounds of defense for Gogun and still 1 to go.
You can hear the laughter and genuinely just the enjoyment coming out of the Gogun roster. For good reason too. Again, remembering coming up against one of the titans of the Japanese scene. Fav have always been the name on, you know, the tip of our tongues for the longest time, and 2021 hasn't been the greatest showing from them. But nevertheless, again, they are still a monstrous team that can pull out some outrageously large results. And right now, Gogun are in the driver's seat by every measure of the explanation.
You know, there is one redeeming factor here for Fav Gaming, is that this is now a downstairs snowmobile wine cellar defense for Gogun. Really nice electrical there. That's going to protect these 2 walls here in wine cellar. And any second now. Oh, he must have missed it. He has to replace it. Must have missed that one. I'm not sure if Fav are aware of this. There you go. It did get it eventually, so that's really good. But as I was saying, this wine cellar snowmobile, Gogun have been forced onto it now that they've won bar games and kitchen dining in the most recent 2 rounds. They could go back to Master Office, but definitely very risky. Oh, that is a nice claw. That is going to get the hatch.
I mean,
that is very uncommon. I've never seen that.
That's, I mean, talk about hiding in plain sight, right? Right under the noses of Fav Gaming. I don't think they'll ever be able to find that, surely. I mean, like, it's one of those things where someone's going to walk into it and just be like, what is going on there? Why are we looking at that? Io-Chan from the master bedroom window has found the pick onto Afro. The Lion is out of play for the entire round.
It's actually nuts. I think Io-Chan has stepped up massively this game. 6-2 at the moment, and that's 3 opening kills in a row as well. Oh, and Kerry there for a double on the blue stairs. It feels like this is a 5-1 half for Gogun. It feels inevitable now. Very similar situation to what we saw on Cafe. Defense, impenetrable. And Fav Gaming rest their hopes on these 2 hard breaches to hopefully just achieve something, anything. Bring this back into the realm of possibility.
Number 2, trying to crack something. It just feels like Gogun are really showing us quite the treat here. Nowhere is in a position to really do some serious damage. I mean, Fav don't even know where he is right now. He's literally behind enemy lines. He could be a part of the attack if he wanted to be. But it does look like Fav are really heavily trying to get something done toward Wine here, but I just couldn't imagine, with all the time left on the board, that they'd even be able to kind of get past the first hurdle or 2. But regardless, you have to try. You have to try and crack it.
At least they have the time. Oh, Lugator could have found a freebie there. And here comes nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Might not be needed if Io-Chan can find that. A lot of angles to walk into now for number 2. This is just an impossible task. 1v5 and they're just gonna meme him. The Bailiff shotgun sidearm is enough. They are ecstatic. A flawless round rounds out the half 5-1 for the underdogs.
Would you read about it? Would you read about it, Dev? Because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't. This is... I mean, I'm not going to say it's a historic match by any means, but I think that it could be. I think we could look back at this in 6, 12, hell, 24 months' time and go, this is where that storyline started for Gyeogun. This is where like, they turned heads. Think about this. A 7-1 loss on Villa to come and bounce back the way that they have on Cafe, and now repeating that form into Chalet, which we know Fav to be quite comfortable on. It is nothing shy of impressive.
It certainly is. I mean, this has really set up a scary prospect for Fav. Gonna have to win 5 rounds in a row, 6 rounds in a row in order to win without overtime. If they drop a single round here, that's Gyeogun at least guaranteeing overtime here on the final map of the series. Hey, that's a nice claw. I believe that should be for the office walls upstairs.
10 seconds.
But man, I mean, the pressure is just going to be mounting. Can you imagine? Guts Gaming, Sengoku Gaming, and Fav Gaming all eliminated before the semi-finals. Can you imagine?
Crazy, crazy, utterly crazy. Now, I'm just having a look at the stats that Perp has sent us. I mean, I don't know whether you've prefaced this, but every opening kill has gone the way of Gyeogun.
It's insane.
That's insane, man. Absolutely insane. Another stat that's really crazy for me is actually Ariba's cost up at 83% with only 1 kill. So has found ways to be effective in other manners that we don't typically see. I guess it's probably more the survival than it is anything else at that point, but still, it is something that's worth noting.
Yeah, and look, the only round Gyeogun have lost so far is the one where they got the opening kill, but it was traded back afterwards. Every other round they won, the opening kill was not traded. You can immediately identify what Fav need to do. They need to stop forfeiting these early engagements, at least not without having a plan to refrag back. Gyeogun have made fantastic progress, really putting that pressure onto the library hold. That mezzanine exposed thanks to the ex-Kairos holes that we're now seeing through the eyes of Kerry. And Nade's going to go through. Taekwon feels that pressure, but doesn't back away. Only a little bit of damage, a second nade to go through. Could this one be what's needed? Taekwon has enough mobility to keep moving. There's no one on his window to cut him off. Oh, that's such a tight angle. But a Raven goes in. Gyeogun, they are looking so good right now.
Of course, it's Ariba that just sends it in to find the kill. Lamport gets taken down to literally 1 HP, but is still alive. Still a crosshair on the board that Fav are going to have to deal with. And testing with this kind of vertical play at the moment. Oh, Afro's been caught out. What is going on?
3 players left for Fav, and oh, that's going to be the freebie. It looks like Gyeogun are just going to send it straight on in. It's going to have to be a retake for Shin and number 2. Both players off site. Shin looking to retake. That's a great shot onto Kerry. But it's too late now to deny the plan. They're going to have to make it work in the post. Number 2 got a lot of angles to walk through in order to help up his teammate. Shin's done some good damage and good progress, but there's a lot of work to be done. Gyeogun have so many crossfires. I think this is going to be match point for them. Indeed, it looks like it might happen. Shin in the 1v4. There just isn't enough time. Gyeogun find themselves.
Tournament of underdogs. It is the underdog tournament right now. Imagine as well if Orthros Grit had been able to win their game yesterday against Fav. Like, that would have been absolutely unbelievable considering how close it was. The storylines coming into this, I think this is now going to show the prowess that the Japanese scene is starting to showcase. They're starting to really highlight what this domestic Rainbow Six scene can do. And truthfully, it's a warning sign to the rest of the APAC nations as well as it is to the world. They're not here to mess about.
there have been waves of change in the Rainbow Six meta recently, and underdog teams are taking full advantage. Fav about to have it handed to them. Gyogun, well and truly the underdogs. They've got 5 match points to close out this series against Fav Gaming and book their spot in the semi-final against USG. Later on, we've got another potential for an underdog upset. It's Zepto versus Cycles, but for now, it's Gyogun are just gonna send it straight in. Io-Chan has the site traded back, and Fav can recompose.
Yeah, but for how much longer Kerry can find the nade? No, it's Shin that manages to do the damage. I mean, that could have been disastrous for Fav. Had Io-Chan been able to walk in like that, Kerry was going to be next up as well. So they were literally about to just massacre the hopes and dreams of Fav, who now have an opportunity here. Number 2 might find himself a free kill. 100% he does. Making matters worse here for Gyogun, who started out in such a fantastic fashion. It's all but crumbled here, as Fav now are given that opportunity back into this game. As much as it may be a small one, it's one nonetheless.
Rainbow, if he lands this shot, okay, that's good. 2v3 now, very winnable. Lambor's got good info on the player in Trophy and can leave that drone alive for his teammates. Concussion to go through, it enables him to jump on. Lambor's in a very dangerous position for the defense. He might have an angle against Lugator, might have an angle against Shin as well in Trophy. He's just going to tank the goo mine, but Shin gets the better of him. All onto Areba.
Areba decides to take his own teammate out. Has he been able to spot the footing of Shin? Lugator in exactly the same position, manages to fire off some warning shots. Areba back, rips the head off of Lugator and sticks the plant with 50 seconds left. Afro trying to make this work. No way! The 1v3 clutch to take down what is an unbelievable upset against Fav Gaming. Gyogun take a bow.
What on earth?